Marcel Wanders, designer, and I'm here at Devon in Milano.
Hello, I'm Gabriele Chiave, creative director at Marcel Studio, also in Milano, in a beautiful box of flowers. It all started, I think, a few years ago. The discussion started about collaborating with the studio, and from the start, of course, we know Devon as a very historical company, but also I believe Devon shares some characteristic and DNA points of what in the studio we do, which is basically to celebrate certain iconic pieces from the past and bringing them into the contemporary world of design, and therefore the Devon pieces are always great to use as a whole or to mix up and match with the contemporary spirit of living. So I think this characteristic is something also very new to the work of the studio, where we use heritage, we use cultures, we use history to bring it into our design world, into the contemporary world today, but also to create a future. And we do this in product, but also we do that in interior design. So I think that the match and the feeling was immediately there. And to the start was very interesting also, the fact that they wanted to explore the big ceramic slabs as new kind of process to introduce this beautiful graphic you have, and then also wallpaper. So for us it was very interesting to see how we could do collections that could flow from one material to another seamlessly, but still being very, very beautiful.
Extremely different this is from a bunch of square tiles that you have to reposition.
Well, the stories of Secret Gardens that we thought, it started all from thinking to create patterns that basically are secret to our eyes, are secret to the normal way of seeing things, are secret to the normal way human people perceive some matters. And so we started exploring what are the gardens which are secret because are invisible or are difficult to find. So we started, the conversation was about graphic, and we said, okay, but we really want to enter into create a space for the bathroom which is a bit holistic, that has accessories, that has some presence. So we did that in a bit of a little trick, because basically we use the same tiles of the wall conceptually to build a very brutalist, very architectural piece that goes a bit against of what maybe Devon does in furniture or the bathtub. So we made a contrast between the beautiful flowers that are very romantic and very feminine, together with a piece which basically is like if you extract from the wall these drawers and they come extruding out, and so they disappear seamlessly, and it's a chameleontic piece.
Yeah, I think it's very cute, the whole idea that it feels like you have this box of flowers and then there's this golden little knob and you pull it and then the whole cabinet comes forward, you know, protruding this flowery arrangement, and if you close the mirrors again, it's like completely disappearing. It's like space that's fit for nothing but works for everything.
We have a beautiful urban pattern, which is a urban garden, and it's a beautiful mix of Firenze and Amsterdam to celebrate, of course, a collaboration. But it's something that you wouldn't see unless it's on a map, or if you're in the sky and you fly really high and then you see the map of a city. The same thing goes with the Zen garden, and of course, this beautiful one that you see around you, it's a garden which is basically behind a glass. That's why it's blurred, and on the glass you have little drops of water, because it's secret because it's there, but it blurs immediately out, so it's almost untangible and unreachable. And the last one is the one that is even more abstract, because it's a garden of dreams. It's the one, again, you cannot see with your eyes, but you can see with your mind and soul. It's part of the dreams, and it comes also all together in this kind of context of Secret Garden. That's where everything started from.
I think the whole point is more that not that it's a garden, but that it's secret, right? I mean, in a way, there's not so many spaces that we lock a door if we're inside, but with the tiles that we see here, I mean, it is a place where you have a moment of intimacy, and it's a place that therefore it's kind of it's a different place, and to feel that could be your secret garden. I think it's beautiful. And then, of course, that naming is, I think, explaining what the concept's about. And then you can do a lot of different versions. I think this is a very steamy, wet space. Then it's a very dry space. The cities of Amsterdam and Florence are more like a culture space, a little more quiet. And then the fantasy one is like just, it's crazy, but it's poetic. It's like there's so many little stories to tell. It's a dream, like an irrational place where you can wander. I think the strength of this collection, for sure, lies in Devon and Devon. It's a great company with a great vision and a great capacity to bring this work to the world. I can see this very minimalist house with beautiful materials, but very quiet. And then you open the door of your bathroom, and then you enter in this full immersion of flowers and colors. And I would just ask you to do that. Just especially the architects that love their minimal spaces, bear with me. Take one little space and invite us in a miracle.